Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Sea Blip. It's important to stress that the build that you're looking at here is 2 weeks prior to release into early access. So this is a pre-early access build, and everything that you're about to see is most definitely subject to change. And as such, I really didn't play this for all that long, simply because pre-early access builds, I'd love to play them, but developers usually change a lot of things during early access, and I'd rather wait on this one because this game has a lot of potential. It's a lot of fun. You create a character, you can customize them a bit, you can choose your starter upgrades and cannons and the like, and that's really cool because this is an FTL kind of game, but if it were pirate ships, I love that. I love the whole naval vessel approach to games. There's a couple of games that I really enjoy that are, naval in that sense. And this game, again, it has a FTL open world feeling. Rather than going from like left to right on a galactic map, you're just traveling around the open waters and you're exploring and you're finding new locations and you're battling enemies and looting them and leveling up your characters. Now, there is a captain's log. It's like a quest log, but unfortunately, there was one option to hire a guard for my island. Apparently, you get attacked on your island, but it's not implemented into the game yet. So the quests were very limited. There is a wanted list, people that you're trying to find, points of interest and people of interest that you're trying to find, and take them down in order to get a lot of money. So there are bounties that you can actively go after. There is a crafting section in this game, so you can craft new items as you go, and there's even a library. And what surprised me the most was that there was a bit of like terraria and farming, and it was weird. I could chop down trees and get wood. I could use my shovel and dig up dirt so I could plant seeds. I'm like, am I playing Stardew Valley? Or am I playing a pirate FTL game? I don't know what this game is trying to be. But wood is super important because after you defeat an enemy ship, typically you're given the option to try and repair it. And if you do, you can take it over and keep it. Or you can scrap it for resources and gold and upgrades and different things like that. It took me some time to get into this. The tutorial was almost non-existent. It really didn't teach me anything that I needed to know. I fumbled with the controls in combat, and as such, I got my butt kicked a couple of times because I didn't know how to shoot the enemy. It just wasn't very intuitive that way. And that's something I hope that the developers fix once this game is in early access. I want the game to be a bit more intuitive to new players. It said to click on one of my crew members and then I can target the enemy's ship, and I was clicking on the gun and not the crew member. I was expecting to be able to do that with the gun, and no, I had to click on the crew member attached to the gun in order to do that. It was just a weird design choice. Anyway, like in FTL, you're going to be able to assign your crew to different parts of your ship, like one to the cannon, one to, say, your pump to pump out water out of your ship and repair it. Supposedly, I can attach my character to, the helm, but in FTL, you get an evasion chance. I don't know what you get with this. In the upper left, there's an acceleration meter, but I have no idea what it does, and there's no tooltip to tell me what it does. So this is an example of what I'm saying about that whole intuitive thing. The game doesn't really tell me why it's there and what it does. I don't know what the flags mean. It doesn't tell me these things. So I wish the game were a bit more intuitive and a bit more explanatory of itself. But, what I was able to play was fairly enjoyable. Like in FTL, you can actually transport over to the other ship, and attack them and take out the crew members that way. So, if you've played FTL, you'll see a lot of familiar things. But I got to a point where, I was exploring islands. I was heading back and farming every now and again and stuff. But then I ran into an enemy ship. I was taking them out decently. I took out 2 or 3 ships that way. And then all of a sudden, the ship I went up against, it was so freaking difficult. There was no indication that the ship was any harder than the other ones I had faced prior. So as soon as I started fighting it, my ship was taking a crap ton of damage. and a shark came around and ate my crew member that I had hired. So now it's just my captain, and now my ship is flooding and I'm dead. So like I didn't have a chance, and I'm like, oh, this is if this is part of the game, fine, but I wish there was a way to know what I'm getting into before I run into a ship on the open world map. Like all of the ships look the same, so I can't tell if it's easier or harder or what difficulty it is. Like I wish the game would tell me that. So like this is an example of like why I'm going to wait on playing this title until way into early access, because like stuff is going to change, and there are parts about the game that are a bit frustrating. I mean, that being said, I'm super excited for this. Like there's so much potential here. I love the idea of like being able to get new guns and bigger ships, and like there's the ability to like level up and get. I want the best ship possible. I want to level up all my stuff. You can even choose skills for your crew members as they level up. So like this game is ticking a lot of boxes that I love, but at the same time it's frustrating in a couple of ways, and it's preventing me from like enjoying the experience as much as I would like to, if that makes any sense. But that being said, this is pre-early access. I've said it before, so I'm going to reserve any sort of review at the moment and just, show it off, which I've done, and, come back to it later and really give it a go once it's a bit more fleshed out. I'm excited for this title. I really am, and I want to see more. I just, I need to see a bit more growth on this game before I come back to it. But there you go, folks. I'm really excited for this one. I can't wait to come back to it. Sea Blip, open world FTL-like with pirates. It's really cool. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time. Take care.